Today's show is sponsored by DVCBuyResale.com. DVCBuyResale.com is a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club membership. You can view their current Disney Vacation Club resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, and see the DVC points charts all at DVCBuyResale.com. Or call Chantel directly at 1-800-844-4099. This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, January 25th, 2008, and this is episode 362 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hodgeberg from StudioCentral.com. That's StudioCentral.com. I'll pause while you enter that into your browsers and favorite it. While you're doing that, let's talk to some of the panelists on the show. We're going to start with Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Hi, Mike.
How come I don't get mentioned twice?
Hey, man, time is money.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, Matt.
And also joining us is Mike Scopa of All Ears Net. Welcome, Mike.
The time trajectories have been securely locked for days before the comet hits and is shut up with a secret password only I and a few others know.
Muppets.
Oh, well, that's good to hear, because that means there's no possible way that they could send you back just before a comet or a meteor is about to hit.
Only someone who knows that attraction like the back of his hand would have that answer.
I only know the attraction. I can't picture it, but I know it very well from orally, because I always close my eyes during it. That would be Dinosaur. And also joining us is Annette Owens of MEI and Mousefan Travel. Welcome back, Annette.
Hey, thanks for letting me back, guys.
Oh, anytime. And joining us again is Michelle Scribner-McLean, who's a writer for All Ears Net. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And today we're talking about being a vegetarian in Walt Disney World, and as you can imagine, Mr. Scopa is not a vegetarian. Kind of named a whole meat dish after himself at Le Cellier. So since we are not vegetarians, we decided to bring Michelle on. Now, Michelle, why don't you clarify? Because I'm not a vegetarian myself, but I know that there are different variations of vegetarians. What variation are you?
We are all in my family, my husband, my two boys, and I were all vegetarians. We are lacto-ovo-vegetarians, so we eat eggs and we eat dairy products, but vegans don't eat dairy products. We're not vegans. But
Okay.
we find it challenging enough just to be vegetarian in Walt Disney World without being a vegan.
Well, you went right into it. I mean, I was going to ask you, how challenging is it to be a vegan? Is it just require a lot of advanced planning, or even then is it kind of challenging?
Well, we're not vegans, we're vegetarians.
Oh, vegetarians, right. I mean, yeah.
It does. It requires some planning, especially when you have kids. It seems to add a whole nother layer of planning that you don't think about if you eat everything that there is to eat at Walt Disney World. So you have to really worry about what are the kids going to eat, where are the best places for them to eat, and you have to really plan ahead, kind of think about where you're going to be and what might be available, what might not be available to eat. Do you have to bring snacks, things like that?
How long have you been a vegetarian for?
15 years.
Okay. So being a vegetarian for 15 years, some people are a little intimidated about asking for certain advanced dining requirements because, knowing you're a vegetarian. Does that affect you, or are you just at the point where it doesn't matter anymore? You don't need to impress anybody. You're just, it doesn't bother you to ask, or do you still kind of get that kind of anxiety about, you don't want to be a bother or something like that?
I think that's one of the things that having kids does for you. When you have kids or vegetarian, or when you have kids in general, you're not afraid to ask for things to make them more comfortable. So, and if you're going to ask, Walt Disney World is the place to ask because people are so accommodating. So that's actually another one of my tips, is to make sure that you ask wherever you go, because frequently they will have something that's not listed on the menu that you can have as a vegetarian. The trickiest place for this to happen is at the
turkey leg stand.
Yeah, the turkey legs is a very difficult place. Yes, yes, we sail right by that one. I haven't had my kids ask me to try one of those yet, but the other place is just the quick serve restaurants because they don't have a lot of options there. But pretty much every sit down restaurant, they'll have things that you can ask for on the menu. The only place I haven't tried is the beer garden, and I was just mentioning this to my husband tonight. I'd love to take my kids there because I've been there before, but there's nothing on the menu that's vegetarian. So, but we haven't tried
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, we could have piles of sauerkraut.
That's right.
We love
So I got a
salads.
question. I got a question for you because you mentioned the counter service, and that's what I was thinking. That's where it would be the most difficult. Are there a few counter service places that really is a little easier to
Yes,
find a
well,
choice?
you know, when we first started taking our kids there, the thing that we came away with is they're eating all pizza and French fries, and we couldn't have that. We couldn't have them eating pizza and French fries all the time. So there are different places. Any place that has a burger bar, believe it or not, will have a veggie burger, and on the veggie burger are all the fixins. So places like Cosmic Rays is a good place to go. But there are different places in different parks that we sort of have a strategy and walk around and try to find those different places. At Epcot, Sunshine Seasons, that's a fantastic place. That there's tons of stuff available there. At Animal Kingdom, we used to find some things at the Tusker House, but we haven't ventured over there since it changed its format. That's another tricky place. But I think the Yak and Yeti might have some stuff on takeout. And where did I forget? The studios, that's another tricky place. And I have to say, having been down there on Marathon weekend, we walked from place to place to place. We actually went to 3 different places.
Where'd you go?
We went to the commissary. There wasn't anything there, which is the sad vegetarians walking from place to place.
Is there an Asian salad there?
Yeah, there's the
I had an
Asian salad.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we didn't see that, but we ended up at the flatbread place. So.
Okay, I was going to say, the believe it or not, I know I didn't know it until just recently. The Toluca Legs Turkey Company, which is serves turkey legs primarily, they actually do have a salad over there, and it's really quite good. I had it. My fiance loves turkey legs. I can't stand them, and she had that one, and I had the salad over there. It's really quite good. I'm not sure if it's. I don't know if it had some like meat in it because I think it was a kind of a Mexican kind of salad, but I don't remember. I can't tell for sure. I don't know if it was a bean salad or a meaty salad. But
I'll have to look over there.
yeah, try that out.
Backlot Express, because I recall having a grilled vegetable sandwich at the Backlot Express during Mouse Fest. So that's another good place to.
The thing that happens is that when you're a vegetarian, usually there's only one thing on the menu
Yeah.
to eat. So if you don't happen to like that one thing, then you end up traveling if you plan, or if your kids don't like that one thing. And that's actually another strategy that we use sometimes. We eat off the kids' menu. Sometimes we just have to go with the macaroni and cheese or the peanut butter sandwich if we're eating at the fast food restaurants.
Now, Michelle, are you seeing any trends at the resort towards going more vegetarian friendly or perhaps less vegetarian friendly?
Since we started eating vegetarian, I've actually emailed Walt Disney World several times just to say, hey, you need to have some more. And their email response to me has been that they are adding more things. And I think it's a trend not just for vegetarians, but for people who want to eat more heart healthy and just eat more healthy. So, although you can eat very unhealthy as a vegetarian too, if you eat the French fries all the time.
Right.
But yeah, they're definitely. In the past, I would say 5 years, we've noticed that there are more things available. That pretty much everywhere you go, there's at least one thing that you can eat. Where sometimes years ago, we'd walk around and there was nothing at all.
Does that bother? I mean, does it feel like they're placating you? Like, oh, here's a bone, enjoy. Like here's your one thing. Does it bother you more that there isn't? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, if there's no choices, then at least you don't have to waste your time going from place to place to place because you'll have kind of a list in your mind. But does having just one choice, is that like, oh, good, they have something now everywhere, I don't have to do that? Or is it like, oh, geez, they only have that one stupid thing and it's going to be a salad and they consider that the vegetarian?
Because that's pretty much the way it is everywhere else. When you decide to be a vegetarian, it's one of the things that you have to live with is that, when you go to Chili's or when you go to your local restaurant, the number of choices is going to be a lot lower. So,
are there any
but it does seem to be very tricky in Walt Disney World. I don't know why, but another thing that we do all the time is to look for places with buffets, because when you have buffet, of course, you have choice. So we can load up on the things, the vegetables and the things that we like to eat. So when we're making choices, we try to find those types of places too. Like our favorite place that we go every time we go to Walt Disney World is Boma. We always make sure that we eat at Boma at least once because of the buffet.
I was going to ask you if there are any restaurants that really stand out in your mind in terms of being really vegetarian friendly.
Yeah, Boma is really terrific. I forgot at the studios too. We were talking about the quick serve restaurants, but Mama Melrose is very good. Has a lot of different things there. We go for a lot of breakfast because breakfast is a very vegetarian-friendly meal and fill the kids up on eggs and their protein for the day. So I took my son Evan to Kona Cafe and filled him up on Tonga toast.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess that in that case, being a what is it, the Obi-Wan Kenobi of vegetarians? What was it, the
Oh, Lacto-Ovo?
Lacto-Ovo, that's the one. I know there was an Obo something in there.
Not that I didn't have a stigma before, but now you're telling me.
Gotta get a new host.
Swing and a miss.
I heard cricket.
At least they pronounced her name right, you know.
Certainly being a vegan, Michelle, is it possible to go to Walt Disney World and be a vegan, or is it just require a lot more research?
It is possible. There's a book that I own that I love that's called Vegetarian Walt Disney World and in Greater Orlando, and it has some choices for vegans too. But I think just in general it's pretty tricky at Walt Disney World to be a vegan. I haven't even. It's not something that our family does. So, but I know that there are some vegan choices. People can ask if there isn't anything on the menu.
What else? You mentioned some tips at the beginning. You've been spreading them around. Are there other tips that you have for people in general to kind of keep in mind as guidelines when you're trying to go to Walt Disney World as a vegetarian, or even maybe like you said, maybe you just want to eat healthier, and certainly vegetarian items tend to be a little bit healthier than some of the non-vegetarian items on the menu at Walt Disney World?
I think the biggest one is the one I mentioned already. Just plan ahead. I go on to All Ears. Not just plug in All Ears, I really do it. I go on to All Ears and I download the menus of places that I'm going to be, and I circle the things that look like they're going to be good for us. And also just don't be afraid to ask. Everybody, we haven't really been turned away. We've been told there aren't many choices, but there's always a grilled cheese in the back or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or somebody at least willing to help us to find someplace else. And just be flexible too. Know that it is going to be tricky. You may have to bring snacks. You may have to, it may not be as easy as it is in your hometown to eat vegetarian.
Now, I know that we mentioned, Scopa, I think you mentioned the Asian salad. I'm not sure if you like that or he was just mentioning it. I know there are some dishes that I like that happen to be vegetarian. Are there any vegetarian entrees at different restaurants that you've run across that you think that people who aren't vegetarians might enjoy?
I tried a few things at the Yak and Yeti, actually. I can never say that name without thinking, why did they put the word yak in that title? But there's lo mein, there's veggie lo mein at the Yak and Yeti, and there's some spicy green beans that have gotten really good reviews. I had them, and they were terrific. And the veggie burgers are pretty good everywhere. The Garden Grill has some good things. Mama Melrose has some really good things. And as I said, Boma has some terrific choices too.
So Michelle, I wanted to chime in and I know that Mike Newell and I, about a week and a half ago, we ate at Fresh at the Dolphin, and there were some very good options there. They had some vegetarian. They had a vegetarian panini. They had some kind of a pasta dish. They had salads. I thought they have roasted vegetable and garlic flattened bread. I mean, they had some good choices there too. They also have what they call a caprese sandwich, which is buffalo mozzarella. Yeah, and sliced in tomatoes and pretty cool stuff. What I wanted to ask.
And Morocco too. I was going to say you mentioned.
Morocco. Yeah,
you guys ate at Morocco, and that has some great couscous with vegetables in it. So that's really another good place, both the sit down and the takeaway restaurant.
I just wish that each meal would come with headphones so that you could block out the music at Morocco. It's just terrible. I wanted to mention before. Yeah, that's nothing. I wanted to mention before that the first time I tried a turkey leg in the Magic Kingdom, that turned me into a vegetarian for about 6 months. But what I wanted to ask you is if you could recommend your top 5 choices for anyone who is concerned about going down there and who is a vegetarian. Which 5 would you recommend they look towards dining at while there?
I think I've already mentioned most of them, but Boma, number 1. Morocco, also a very good choice. So we're talking sit down or just...
I'd say sit down. Sit down.
Let's see. Chefs de France has some good vegetarian options. Somehow I've never tried Le Cellier. I don't know why. But
Probably can't even get in there if you wanted to.
Fair enough. Nothing that I can think of in the Magic Kingdom at all. I would definitely try the Yak and Yeti.
Well, you said Bear Garden. Bear Garden you mentioned.
Yeah, Bear Garden doesn't have anything, unfortunately.
Just sauerkraut.
Just sauerkraut.
Piles and piles of sauerkraut.
Annette, does anybody ask you for vegetarian options when they book the trips through you?
I think the biggest thing I get asked about with vegetarian is for cruising options when they go on the cruise and they start going, we see all these great food options, and most of the time they see steak.
Plus, the Mouse Fan Travel website has slaughtered lamb all over pictures of it everywhere, so they don't generally get too many of those clients.
Well, we've been on 2 cruises, and
they're swinging and miss.
Oh, man.
The cruises
You're
are
0 for 2
fantastic
tonight.
for vegetarians, kids and adults.
Yes.
It's wonderful. That's less of a problem than going to Walt Disney World.
And that's exactly what I've told a lot of clients. It's a lot easier on a ship.
Right.
And they know in advance, which is always great. So
Right.
Well, before we go, I just wanted to mention that on this Sunday, January 27th, we'll be having our next live show. It'll be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and we invite you all to join us. We'll have, obviously, ability for you to call in and interact with us. You can ask us your questions about a trip, share some comments, tell us about your vegetarian preferences, all these kinds of great things. You'll be able to join us in our chat room. All the information about the live show is going to be at wdwtoday.com. You'll find a link to listen in and all the pertinent information. Again, Sunday, January 27th, 2008 at 8 o'clock p.m. And Michelle, thanks for coming on to talk to us.
Thank you.
And that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Elaine Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, Annette Owens, and Michelle Scribner-McLean, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio. Today's show is sponsored by DVCBuyResale.com. DVCBuyResale.com is a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club membership. You can view their current Disney Vacation Club resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, and see the DVC points charts all at DVCBuyResale.com. Or call Chantel directly at 1-800-844-4099.